Whenever we're hooked into identity, we're by default fighting life because the flow of life is like beyond an identity. Like an identity will restrict your ability to listen to life. We can have the overly masculine identity that says, this is what I'm doing it every day, no matter what. And it's good to have some masculine power. Of course, it's good to be connected with the masculine, but it can go too far, right? Just like the feminine can go too far. When we're like, okay, I'm only gonna show up, or I'm only gonna give my gifts when I'm feeling everything's blissful and I'm deep into beingness. And so that can go too far too. It's good to have a deep connection to the feminine though, to beingness. So like if you're too much into the masculine, life might be trying to guide you into the feminine, but you're really planted in this kind of masculine identity of the doer and no matter what. And after a while, your efforts from that place, the energy you exert from that place are just not going to give you any returns because you're not flowing with life. And conversely, you could get way too into the feminine, way too kind of melted, and life's trying to say, hey, I need you to show up. I know you're not feeling blissful, but it's time for you to show up because it's going to be really healing for you. People really need that. Like life, you might, like if you're too much into the feminine, life might be calling you to act, but you've got this identity that's overly feminine that says, well, I only act if I feel like I'm on a cloud of nirvana or bliss. You know what I mean? So my point is we can get any identity we get hooked into can keep us from going with the flow of life. And I've noticed myself, I've gotten hooked into both of those identities, so I know them well. I know what it's like to be hooked into being overly masculine and overly feminine. And what I'm saying is life is beyond those identities. And the reason we get hooked into one or the other is we feel like, okay, if I get hooked into the masculine identity, that's what's going to work. That's what's going to keep me safe. That's what's going to get me support. And the same thing is true in the feminine identity. It's just, the mind likes to get hooked into something and to say, okay, this is how it is. This is the way it is forever. Because it wants the known, it wants the familiar. And so that's what can happen is we can, life will sometimes be wanting us to be more in the masculine. And then we're going to say, okay, this is how it is. And then we don't let go of it when life is asking us to go into the feminine, right? And that's where suffering happens. That's where resistance to life happens. That's where we're no longer in the flow. And the same thing in the feminine. We can make an identity out of that. And then life's trying to bring us more into the masculine. And we're like, no, but I'm this. And then there's suffering there. So anytime, notice when you're getting hooked into an identity, and that's when you're going to start creating your own suffering, because that's when you're going to start resisting life. So life is beyond all of that, and it's ever changing and it's in flux. Some of you will have more of a masculine tint, yang, you could say. Others of you will have more of a yin, feminine tint, and this doesn't have to do with gender. This is just energy. And so we could talk about it in gender, but this isn't what this video is. We'd talk about it in a different way. So just know that, like, notice when you're getting hooked into an identity. And I just want to tell you, life is very fluid. Life is very much spontaneous. And so to be able to really merge with life, we have to be pliable. We have to be able to kind of surrender our will, surrender our thoughts about it, surrender our identities and how we think it should go. And we just have to be willing to kind of go with the stream of our own life force. And that can be humbling at times, because there will be times we want to be in the masculine and life's just saying, nope, not right now. Other times we're not going to want to come forward. We're going to want to hide out in the feminine, in the womb, right? And life's saying it's time to come forward. And we're like, I'm too scared. So notice that, how it can be humbling, and how it takes a great surrender to be willing to really give your life to your life force, to life itself, to the universe, to your higher self or the divine, and to trust that. Because that's where all the abundance is. That's where all, because you're connected to all that is when you're in flow with life, and you're not hooked into an identity. I just wanted to say this because I noticed this happen in my own kind of consciousness over and over again. You know, I get hooked into the masculine. Oh, this is who I am, and then it's, oh no, I'm this now. You know, and it's actually I'm not either of those. Both of those can work through me when it's time, and in the way that they want to, right? But it's addicting. It's addicting to get hooked into one because that's the mind. It just wants things to be this way because that's how it feels safe. The mind doesn't want to surrender to life. The mind is almost incapable of surrendering to life in a way, because it's the unknown. It can be scary. It's uncertain. And it's an art. This is a mastery, right? To really learn how to listen to life, and to really be honest with yourself. Like, what is life asking for, from me for right now? There's this Eckhart Tolle quote. I hope I get it right. It's something like, instead of asking what do you want from life, start asking what does life want from you. And that's really powerful. That inquiry can help you sync up with something beyond an identity. And then if life wants you to play the masculine energy, fun. If it wants you more in the feminine, the energy of beingness and rest, perfect. But notice how that can always be changing. And even in one day, you can go from one to the other, right? You can be convinced. Like today, I was getting a little bit convinced. Oh, I think maybe I'll take a day off from making a video and just rest. And then it's like getting chills. It's like life is the boss. And it's actually more fun when you give yourself to life because it's more of a ride. And you're not dictating things as much. The expectation falls. There's more freedom. It's just more relaxed. And you get to let life play through you and act through you. And that's where like I said, that's where the abundance is. And those good, like those feelings of flow is when you're merged with life, when you've surrendered your own will. And it's not to negate the will, because sometimes life will come through you and it will feel like you've got lots of personal will to get things done, right? So it doesn't negate the experience of the personal will when I'm saying just to surrender it, because sometimes life will come up and you're like really in the masculine, and then, then you go into, the feminine, and it's just kind of no self. Nothing needs to be done. You're just listening. So it's just an interplay of energy. One isn't better than the other. They both work together beautifully. And so just the point of this video is letting go of an identity, letting go of how you think it should go. Even though it went this way, a certain way yesterday or the week past, life, and especially with the energies right now, guys, they're changing so fast. So just enjoy the ride and just do your best to listen to life and to surrender to life, whatever it's asking. And it's going to bring forward the experiences you really want. Your soul and life knows better than your own mind what you want to experience, right? So it's orchestrating those experiences for you. You just have to let go into the river of your own life stream and just enjoy it. Enjoy what flows in, you could say, or what your river of your life stream, what kind of experiences it takes you into very organically and effortlessly. So that's the video. I hope you got something out of it. I did. It kind of helped me untangle something I've been working through. So much love, y'all.